Today, the U.S. Navy's submarine fleet has mastered undersea travel. But during the Second World War, the ocean was still Earth's final frontier. Traversing that frontier were submarines like the USS Pampanito, SS-383. Today, visitors to the Pampanito will find a broom attached to her conning tower, a strange badge of honor for those who accept all or nothing survival odds. Come with us on a clean sweep with the Pampanito. Today, visitors can find the USS Pampanito moored in San Francisco Bay, within sight of Alcatraz Island. Unlike Alcatraz, the World War II-era submarine receives few visitors, and on any given morning, you can board the Pampanito and essentially have the old warship to yourself. As you traverse the empty corridors, it becomes easy to visualize what life and war must have been like for the sailors who served aboard her. Every corner and cranny are dedicated to the function of this vessel. Every surface is dedicated to maintaining and controlling the massive diesel engines, or the batteries that power the ship while it moves underwater. One imagines the conditions in these cramped spaces, the heat of the engines in this steel tube, the nauseous smell and fumes threatening to overwhelm the sailors, the stale air after the submarine has been underwater for hours, carbon dioxide building and building and building. The crew would have had few comforts, bunking together like sardines in a can. Some crew would have bunked in even more cramped quarters, on cots above live torpedoes. At least, bunking with the explosives put these sailors closer to the head, one of two aboard a ship of 84 sailors. What few creature comforts the crew of the Pampanito might have had would have been found here. 4 steel tables, the ship's galley, and a radio. The officers of the Pampanito lived with a few more comforts, but only the captain of the boat had privacy and a private cabin, no matter how small. The officers had a private wardroom for meals and command conferences, but again, what mattered was how long it would take those officers to get from their bunks to the control room in an emergency. Here, the submarine's officers and crew studied charts and set courses, directed the depth of the boat, and planned attacks. From here, the call will go out to the torpedo bays fore and aft to load their fish in the tubes. From here, the push of a button would send those torpedoes toward their target. From here, the crew would have heard the impact of a successful attack. From here, they would wait in silent anticipation as enemy destroyers cruised overhead, searching for the Pampanito with sonar and dropping depth charges. When she sailed back into port, the Pampanito, having sunk enemy vessels and avoided enemy destroyers, would stick a broom on her conning tower, signifying a clean sweep. She had swept the enemy from the seas. It was shorthand for a successful mission. The Pampanito's days of war patrols are long past, but you can still recapture a little of how her sailors might have felt by visiting her, touring her corridors, and feeling, if only for a moment, as if you were a silent hunter below the waves.